have seen a bit of a rise in, especially in southern states like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Let's invite India Cement's Vice Chairman and Managing Director, N. Srinivasan, is with us now. Mr. Srinivasan, good morning. First, if you could confirm that the pricing has been on the uptrend, and if you could tell us why is that? Is that because of genuine demand growth, or is this because cement companies have a bit of pricing power right now?
Actually, the Q4, the last quarter, saw a slight dilution in price. And I think what you're seeing now is partly a correction and partly also to make up for costs. Costs have gone up. You see, at the same time last year, petcoke was $45 a ton. It is now $85 to $90 a ton. And other costs also have gone up. So I think it is an attempt by companies to try and preserve their margins and maybe improve it, because we have not really seen any great demand growth. Although in the last year, South grew by 7%. The country as a whole, I don't have the figures because we stopped giving these figures to CMA. But the southern sector, from 59 million tons to 63 million tons was a growth of 7%. And capacity utilization was 62% in the south. We, of course, were at 69% because we had very strong exports. And also we had special cements, and we have plant outside the south also.
Okay. Mr. Srinivasan, good morning. Would it not make sense to push up cement volumes from that 65% that you're talking for the industry rather than raise prices if there is demand?
You see, that is left to the individual companies. I'm talking, you asked me to make an observation, I did. Now, obviously, for any company, they need both volume and price. And price is important because a lot of cost increases are taking place all the time. So that is one factor. Volumes, the demand should be there. I expect, for example, if you look at the year ahead of us, but for the fact that the rainfall last year was poor, the monsoon was poor, I would say that we would get 8-9% of growth this year.
Okay.
So even now one has to see what is the effect of that poor rainfall on cement consumption during the year. We are just starting the year. Maybe one quarter later, one will have a better assessment.
Okay.
It is a little early to say now. But last year we grew at 7%, that is there. Okay. There was growth in Karnataka, there was growth in Andhra, Telangana also, okay, which helped.
Mr. Srinivasan, can you tell us exactly how much prices have gone up in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana? And given that March and April generally are busy months for construction, do you see prices go up further in the near term?
See, actually, the prices in Andhra, you see, if you look at the invoice price in Andhra, I think it has gone up from 340 rupees to 360 rupees. But actually, the real increase will be more because cement was available below the invoice price for some time. And that correction is what will make an improvement to the bottom line of all companies. It was available even at 290 rupees or 300 rupees. So that will go up. So it depends on how the price increase is taken by the market, each producer, each brand, the demand-supply equation. So it is, I would say it's a little early to say, but maybe a month or later, one can be clearer as to how much of the price increase has actually stuck.
Okay, a couple of points. One, what's your current capacity utilization and what's the target for FY18? It was 65% in FY17. And also your FY18 sales target, FY17 was about 9.5 million tons.
See, our sale in FY17 was 9.5 million tons, you're right, plus export of 500,000 tons, plus Trinatra, which is to be merged with us, about 1.3 million tons. You see, so it's almost 11.3 million tons for the group as a whole. Our utilization last year was 68 to 69%. This year we will see, I mean, in the sense that we may have targets, but it also depends on the market demand, which we have to be in. I can't predict at the moment, start of the year, but maybe a little down the line, we can be more accurate.
Okay. Sir, I wanted some numbers.
But we are aiming for growth. That is there. We are looking at growth.
Okay. Sir, I just wanted to know a bit about your own financials. Over the last 9 months itself, we saw a distinct fall in your interest costs. Your finance costs fell by almost 12%, if I remember right. What do you see as your EBITDA per ton for the last quarter and for the coming quarters?
See, I cannot state that now, because that is, we just finished the quarter. We are.
No, your targets, if you please.
Result. But when we release the result, at that time I'll discuss that.
Okay.
Pardon?
No, is there any target that you're working towards?
Madam, I cannot explain the target now, but I will, when I release the fourth quarter result, at that time we can be a little bit more open.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a little bit about demand for the slightly longer term, because the government has now attempted to boost affordable housing quite a bit with the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana. We're also seeing lower interest rates and higher government expenditure in the real estate sector, etc. How much do you think this could boost demand for the sector as a whole, say over the next 1 year or so?
It has the potential to boost demand substantially, but it depends on how much actually takes place on ground. All of us are hopeful that all these schemes will translate into higher demand, but until that actually comes, and let's see, 1 quarter down the line, 3-4 months down the line, we will have a very clear picture as to how this is translating into increased demand.
Okay. Mr. Srinivasan, the other issue is the land bank. Nigel tells me that you have 25,000 to 30,000 acres across different plant locations. Any plans on that? That's a huge land bank.
It so happened that in one interview I just happened to mention it, but that has been there for some time. It will remain there. Its value.
Okay, no, you're not doing anything to reduce your debt. Actually, that was the intention. Are you doing anything else to reduce your debt?
We are slowly reducing debt.
Okay.
We are slowly reducing debt out of earnings. When we finish this year, we will indicate how much we have reduced this year also.
So what is the debt currently on the books?
Madam, I don't have the figure exactly now. I thought we were going to talk about the cement sector, but
no, fair enough. Well, since we have you with us, we thought we would speak about.
The interest-paying debt is about 2,100 crores. Pardon?
Okay. Fair enough, sir. Thank you very much for joining us with your assessment of the likely increase in demand, especially in the southern sector, and the prospects for